I'm audible. Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a new topic on the Python programming language, which is nothing but string and character in Python. Here we are going to see the concept related to the string as well as the characters in Python. These are the ways by using which you can create your these are the various ways by using which you can declare your string. It will be inside the single quote. S1 is equal to string represent a group of characters inside a single quote. S1 inside the double quotes. S, then next third statement inside the double triple quote, and then S inside the triple single quote, and then S last one double quotes on both the sides. This is your invalid syntax. So these are the three ways by using which you can create a string: single characters, single quotes, then double quotes, then double three times quotes, and then three times single quote. These are the various ways by using which you can declare your string. Otherwise, if you declare inside the double quotes only, so it will gives an invalid syntax. If you enclose it inside the single quotes, double single quotes, so it will give the invalid syntax. These are the escape sequence characters which are also used along with your string. Likewise, we have used in the C or Java programming languages. These are the skip sequence characters which you can utilize it. For example, you can see in the one rectangular box, the statement is given as S1 is equal to R. Then string represents slash T, a group of slash n characters. R is nothing but your raw, and which is basically used to nullify the effect of this skip sequence characters. So whenever you are using R in front of the string, and inside the string you are trying to use the skip sequence characters, so basically it will nullify the functions of that skip sequence character and it will be treated as the part of the string. So you can see the output as string represents slash T, a group of slash n characters. But if you are not using the R, so it will use the functions of slash T as well as the functions of slash n. If you want to nullify it, so you can use the R. Next is your name is equal to U, that is your unified. Then you can use the sum string. These are the some values which is to be known as the Unicode characters. You have seen the form where you are writing your details inside the English languages, but at the same time it is also required into the other regional language like Hindi. So at that time you can use the Unicode characters which will use to convert your word into the particular region languages. So for that purpose, you should know what are the characters which are used for this. Likewise, you have written name is equal to you, then some characters is to be written here. Whenever I am trying to use nothing but your Unicode characters that contains the alphabets of various languages. So whenever we are going to print the name, as you can see, there are some characters which are used, which is nothing but the alphabets of the various languages or Unicode characters. So you can see the output is to be printed as the CoPython. So whenever you want to convert the particular thing into the other languages, at that time you should know what is the Unicode character and you can utilize it. So it will be converted into the particular languages. Like here is the core Python in Hindi, it is to be printed. Then length, if you want to find out the length of the characters, at that time len method is to be used, and inside the bracket we have to represent the string of which you want to find out the length. So len is the method of the method which is used to find out the length of the string. So you can see the output as 39, means here S1 contains how many characters? 39. So it will also count the space, it will also count the alphabet, etc. Next is indexing. Indexing is likewise the indexing we have used in the tuples, we have used in the list as well. At the same time, we have also used in the arrays, right, as the data structure. So indexing is also available here. That will represent basically the position number, and the index is written inside the square brackets, as you can see it here. Str of 0, if you are writing str of 0, what it refers? It refers to the 0th element of the string. It also uses the negative index, which refers to the element in the reverse order. If you're writing str of -1, it means it will print the last element. You can see the chart is given here, the table is given here, where the string is the Python rocks. If you can see the positive index, it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 11. And whenever you'll see the negative index, so negative index, it will start from the last. You can see it here, it is -1, -2, -3, 4, 5, 6 up to -12. So whenever you will go for the -1, so it will give you the S. Whenever you will go for the -7, it will give you the N. Whenever you will go for the -12, str of -12, so it will print the P. So you can easily, without using anything, if you are using the negative indexing, you can print it in the reverse order. If you are going into the positive way, you can print it in the positive order. A Python program to access element of a string in forward and reverse order. We can also access the elements of the string in the forward and reverse order. For that, you can use either the for loop, you can either use the while loop, etc. Suppose one string is to be declared here for Python. Here it is enclosed inside the triple double quotes. Next, n is equal to len. Len is the method to find out the length of the string, and str is basically a string. Now we are using the for loop to travel from 0 to n minus 1. So I equal to 0, then while I less than n, colon mark, then within that indentation which represent this statement, print will be executed inside the while statement. So print str of I and then end. Means some space is not assigned here. We know what is the meaning of the end. We have seen in the term of the input output statement why to use the end. And then I equal to I plus 1. So whenever you are going to use this while loop, so what it will do, it will print your first time 0, then C will be printed, next time 1, then O will be printed, next time incremented, so R will be printed, E will be printed. In this way, it will print your entire data as the core Python. You can see to it here, right? And after that, we are using the print statement so that the cursor will go to the next line. So in this way, you can print your string. Likewise, you are printed in the other programming languages. Now here access in the reverse order. If you want to go into the reverse order, you have to go from -1, then -2, then -3, then up to -n. So for that purpose, only the changes is that you have to change the value of the index. Initially the index was 0. Now you can consider the index as the -1. So I is equal to -1 as the first part. Then while I greater than equal to -n, whenever the value of I is greater than -n, so you can print it continuously inside the while loop. So while I greater than equal to -n colon, then indentation, here you have to print str of I. So str of I is nothing but your I is -1. So -1, what it will print? N. Then -2 it will print O. Then -3 it will print H. In this way it will be continued till -12. So whenever the condition up to the point the condition is true, it will start printing. So you can see the first output. It is given core Python in the reverse order. Then next, access in reverse order using the negative indexing. You can use the negative index inside your str of minus. Str of minus. Instead of taking the value of minus, only you can use the negation operator along with the str. And inside the square bracket only, instead of positive, you can use the negative symbol. So here you can see the other program I equal to 1 while I less than equal to n colon, then indentation mark, then print str of minus I. So initially it was 1, now it is -1. Whenever you will do, it will be -2, -3, -4, -5, etc. The value of I is in the positive, but here it is the negation is to be used, so it will represent -1, -2, -3, etc. So it will print it in the reverse order. So you can see the second output, it also represent your string to be printed in the reverse order as the core Python. So these are the ways by using which you can print it in the reverse order. Then slicing in the string. Slicing is also possible along with the string. A slice, why it is to be used? It represent a piece of the string, or whenever you want to represent a part of the data, at that time you can utilize it. So for that purpose, the slicing is to be used. So slicing has the format. Likewise, we have understood in the case of the data type as well. So similarly, we can apply it in the string also. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So string name, then start, then stop, then step size. Here you have to start what is the starting condition, what is the stopping point, and then what is the step size. For example, you have whatever the various ways of the slicing we have used along with the data type. Similarly, we can use it with the string, because at the time we have also seen the some part related to the string. So the string is also to be considered as a part of the data type. So whatever the slicing we are using along with the tuple, along with the list, etc., we can apply it here as well. The format is to be given here. Three values, start, stop, and step size. We can use it. So str equal to code Python, one string is to be considered. Then here print 091. So what it will print? It will go from 0 to 8, and then each time it will be incremented by 1, and it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 8. So you can see that here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 values are printed 0 to 7. So that's why you can see the output as 4PYTH. Go from 0 to 8 with the step sizes 2. So what will be the changes? Print str 0 to 9, but here instead of 1, now it is 2. So it will take the increment of 2. Right, so you can see that initially first time the 0 is to be printed, then O is to be removed, O is not printed, then R is printed, then E is not printed, space is printed, then P is not printed, then Y is printed, because it takes the step of 2. That's why on that step, if particular character is to be coming, it will never be printed. So you can utilize step 2 also, step 3 also, step 4 also as per the need of the slicing or as per the need of the programmer. Then accessing string from 0 to last. If you want to print all this string at that time, you can use print str double colon double colon. So it will print your entire string. If you want to go from 2 to 3, step size 1, so you can use print str2 colon 4, then 1, 2 is the start, 4 is the stop, and then 1 is the increment. Then entire string with the step size 2. If you want to print the entire string but start to stop, at that time you don't know what will be the starting and ending, right? Starting we know, but ending we suppose we don't know. At that time you can use such technique, print str colon colon 2. So it will take the step size of 2 and everything is to be printed within the string. Suppose you want to print from second to end, at that time you can use print str second, then inside the colon do not write anything, so it will go from second till the last, and you can see the output as is printed re Python. If you want to go from 0 to 3, so you have to specify the position as 4, so that we can go from 0 to 3. So print str colon, we are not writing the initial value, but we are writing the terminating value as 4, and we are not writing an increment because the default increment is always 1. So it will print from 0 to 3. You can see the output as printed 0, 1, 2, and 3. So 4 is printed. Next, accessing from -4 to -2, left to right. So at that time, you can see to it here, print str -4 to -1. At that time, you can see that the value is printed tho. So what it will do basically, it will go to -1, then -2, then -3, then -4. Right? Then from -4, it will print it up to the -1. That's why you can see the output is in the tho. Right? Not in the reverse order. Python, so it will go from -1, then -2, then -3, then -4. So from that point, it will start printing it. So you can see the output that it will print. It is in the same order, but it will count it from -4. Next, access from the -6 till the end. Suppose you want to print from -6 position till -1 position, right? So at that time, print str, then -6 colon colon. You're not writing anything. So at that time, you can print the minus Python. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. -6 is your P. So from that point, it will start printing. So you can see the output is to be printed as Python. N is -1, O is -2, H is -3, then T is -4, then Y is -5, then P is -6. From that point, it will start printing. So you can see the output is in the same order Python is printed. But basically, it will count according to the index in the negative index. Then when step size is negative elements counted, so it will go from right to left. Now you can see that print str -1 to -4, right? But now here the increment is -1. So now it will go -1, -2, -3, -4 in the reverse order. So at that time you can see to it here, it print NOH in the reverse order. So here the values to be increment is to be given as minus. So it will go from the reverse order -1, -2, -3 up to the particular terminating value which is to be defined. Then -1 till first element from right to left if you want to print it. So you can see to it here -1 colon colon. We are not writing stopping because we want to go at the last, but here the increment is given as -1. So you can see the output is to be printed in the reverse order, or Python is printed in the reverse order. So initial is given -1, and here the limit is not given, so it will go up to the last position, but the increment is to be mentioned at -1. So first time it will be -1, next time it will be -2, next time it will be -3. It will go ahead till the end of the string. You can use it inside the for loop else also for printing these values, and we have understood the for loop. For I in str is already declared, so this I is used to refer the values of the str. Then print I, and it does not go to the next line, so you can see the output is to be printed as for Python, and whenever it is printed as print, so the cursor to be transferred to the next line. Next is for I in str colon colon -1. So at that time what happens, whenever you are going to print it, so it will print your data in the reverse order, because it takes the increment of -1. So -1, -2, -2, in this way it will go ahead and it will try to print it. So you can see the output is to be printed in the reverse order. Next is here for I in str colon colon. So at that time it will read the entire string, right, from 0 to last. At that time what happens, print I, then you can see the output is to be printed in the uh, same order as core Python, means the entire string is to be printed. You want to repeat the string, for that purpose multiplication operator is to be used, print str multiply. So core Python is to be printed 2 times, and repeat fifth and sixth character 3 times. If you want to repeat a particular character, means you can slicing is to be used, but you want to repeat it multiple number of times. So str 5 to 7, 5 to 7 is nothing but start from 5 and it will go up to 6. So pi will be there from 5 to 6, 5 to 7. So it will go 5 and 6, but it will be printed multiplied by 3 times it will be printed. So you can see the output as pi, etc. is to be printed. Next is concatenating the string. You can also concatenate or combine two strings. For that purpose, the plus operator is to be used. S1, S2, the two strings are initialized. We know the various ways how we can initialize the string inside the double quotes, inside the single quotes. Then S3 is equal to S1 plus S2. The string is printed. You can see the output is to be printed as for Python. Similarly, checking the membership in the string, to check the particular string is available inside the other string or not. At that time, the membership is to be used. So here, first is str is equal to input enter string. The string is taken as input from the user. Next is your substring, which is defined here as sub is equal to input enter substring. It is to be taken as input from the user. If sub in str, if the other string, which is to be termed as sub, it is available in the str, so it will print that particular substring is found in the main string. Otherwise, it can say that it is not found in the string. So there might be a condition where you want to check it, that particular string is available or not. At that time, you can utilize that membership operators. So you can see the output enter and string core Python, enter a substring pyt. You want to check pyt. So pyt is available as we can see it here. So whenever if sub, that is pyt in str, it will automatically check it. So whenever it checks it, it gives the true condition. So here it returns that print sub is found in the main string. So suppose you have the set of the string in which you want to find out your name is available or not. Suppose there is a list of the student who got this, who scored more than 80 or etc., or who is in the defaulters list. At that time, you want to check your name is to be available in the list or not. So you can use that in operator to find it easily, instead of the searching each and everything that it is available or not. Next, removing a white space from the string. You can also remove the white space, means the blank space. The blank space may be available on the left hand side, may be available on the right hand side, may be available on both the sides, and also available in between the uh, string. So at that time, we can use the some methods to remove the white spaces, but possibility is that we can only remove the white space from the start or white space from the end, but not in between. For that purpose, the various method is to be used are strip, L strip, and strip method. You can see the example, name is equal to double quotes, some space is there Python, then some space is there, then Perl, then some space is there inside the double quotes. It is defined. So here the print name dot r strip, it will remove your right space. Here in the output you can see to it, the right space is to be removed but the left one is there. That's why the first output, you can see that difference between the first output and second output, not left space is removed, only the right space is removed, so that here you can see the space is also added at the time of printing. Then second print name dot l strip, left space is to be removed, so you can see the second output, it will start from the very first position, so space is removed from the left side, right? Then print name dot strip, it will remove the spaces from both the side, left as well as right. So you can see the third output, it is similar to the second output, that will start from left side is already removed, but you can see on the right hand side, we are unable to see it here, but whenever you write the statement at that time, you can easily see it that it is removed from the right side. So these are the three ways which are used to remove the white spaces. Then there are many more methods which are used to find the substring. For example, find, rfind, index, rindex, etc. These are the methods which are used to search the string. So find and index, it will search from beginning. Rfind and rindex, search from right to left. Then find returns -1 if the string not found. And then index returns value error exception if not found. And these are the formats: main string dot find, main string dot index, where you should give the substring which you want to find, then beginning and ending of it. See the one example here. Finding the substring, str is equal to input, enter a main string, one string is taken as input, substring is also taken as input, sub is equal to input, enter the substring. Then we have used n is equal to str dot find substring, then 0 comma length of str. Length of str means here it will calculate the length of your total length of the string str. So it will be 0 to str. The sub is also to be mentioned using the find. If n is equal to -1, so what it says that find returns -1 if the string not found. So here we are considering it, if n is equal to -1, print substring not found, else we can print the substring found. So here enter your main string, you have entered the main string as core Python, enter the, you can see the output with the yellow color. Enter a main string core Python, enter the substring pyt. So what it returns, the pyt is available, so it gives the output as substring found. Next, here also given as likewise we have used the try and catch to catch the exception in the Java. Similarly, we can also use it in the Python as well to catch the exception. So once again, but here instead of the try and catch, you can use the try and except. So here the statement which may cause an error, it will be written inside the try block. So you can see it here, n is equal to str dot index, then sub, then 0, then comma length of str. Same statement that we have written above. Here it is written inside the try block. Then except value error. Then once it is not there, then the error is to be generated, exception will be generated, and whenever it will be there, it will print the string not found, and then else it will say that the string is found. So you can see the output as enter the main string core Python, enter the substring Python. So here it is giving as found. We also see the try and catch block or try exception in the other example, so it will be more clear that how the exception is to be used. But basically here the various methods like your index and find is to be used, which is used to find out the search the string, uh, search the substring which is to be available inside the string. Next, there are many more methods are available in the string. We have also given you the inside the practical that whenever I have covered the string, at that time I have listed out the various method along with their examples. So you see to it, this is the method, what is the things what is the description related to the method and what will be the output. The example is also given, the description related to the method is also given. You can read it. So one is your count method. It is used to count the string. So you can see it here, str equal to core Python, then n is equal to str dot count Python. So it will try to find out how many times this substring appears inside your main string. So a substring is your Python. and your main string is a core Python, so Python appears how many times in the whole string? It will only one time. So whenever you are printing the value of n, you can see the output is to be printed as 1, right? Next is your, you can also used from particular position to the particular position to find out the sub part. So you can see it here, n is equal to str dot count. Now here it is o. First one is o inside the double, inside the single quote, then comma 0 comma 3. So it will check from 0 to the third position that o is available how many times. So you can see that o is available only one time, so it gives the output as 1 whenever you're printing the value. Suppose o is there 2 times, 3 times inside that range, so it will give the count up to the number of time that particular character is available or string is available. Next is nstr dot count o 0 to length str. Now it goes here, you are checking from 0 to the end of the string, and now whenever you are printing, you can see inside the str core Python c appears 2 times, so the output is appears 2 times. So if you want to find out that particular string how many time it appears, right, at that time you can utilize that count. Means the application of it, where you want to count out how many times that particular things to be appeared, at that time you can use the count. Similarly, you can use the replace method to replace the string. Suppose your main string is, this is Maharashtra, and here you are printing print str. Now s1 is equal to Maharashtra and s2 is equal to Mumbai. Now here in the str dot replace s1 with s2. So means the s1 is to be replaced with the s2. S2 is now your Mumbai, s1 is now Maharashtra, but you want to replace it in the str, which is nothing but this is Maharashtra. So in a place where the Maharashtra is to be found, it has been replaced with the Mumbai. So you can see the statement str is equal to str dot replace s1 comma s2. The value of str is available, and then a string of s1 as well as s2 is available. So S1 is also available in your str, but S2 we want to replace it. So we represented it here as inside the double quotes as Mumbai. So whenever you are going to print it, print str, you can see that instead of printing that this is Maharashtra, now it is Mumbai. So this is Mumbai is to be printed. Now if you want to split it, at that time also the split method is to be used. For example, if you declared str is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. inside the double triple quotes, now you want to split. Split means you want to show the output, but it should be separated. Separated by what? What it is to be defined inside the split. So print str dot split. Then here we want to split with the comma, so it will be represented inside the single quote. So whenever you are printing this str dot split, you can see the output 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 is to be printed as separate one. Next, if you want to, you can also split it with the space. So str is equal to input, enter number separate by space. So here lst is equal to str dot split. Now what happens here, it will split it with the space. Now you can see to it here, it will convert it to the list data type. Above you can see the above data type. Now whenever you will print, it will looks like your list inside the square bracket. We know the features of the list, tuple, etc., how it will be represented. At the time also you can use the type method to check what is the data type that it represents. So lst is equal to str dot split. Then you can print the print type of lst. So it will give you the type, the data which is to be printed. For example, list. If the data type is there, then for I in lst, then print I, it will print all the numbers from 1 to 4. So what happens here? First string, first we have taken the string from the user, then we have splitted it. So whenever you have splitted it, now it becomes the list. You can check the data type of it with the help of the type method. Now we are trying to print each and every element of the list. For that purpose, for I and lst is to be used. Then we are printing the elements. Next is you are joining the string. You can also join the two string. For that purpose, join method is to be used. Suppose one list is defined as list1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is nothing but the string is to be represented and separated by the comma. Then print double quotes. We are writing double underscore. Then dot join method is to be used. Join along with the content of your list, right? So whenever you are going to print it, you can see the output 1 double underscore 2 double underscore 3 double underscore 4. So whatever you want to join it, you can join it along with the data of that particular, either it is the list or either it is the string. So in that scenario you can also use it. For example, you want to write only the single quotes, etc. So whatever you want to join it, you can join it with the help of the join method. Next, suppose here one tuple is defined, tuple 1, 2, 3, 4. Next is SCP double quotes, colon inside the double quotes is to be defined. Now, if you're writing S1 is equal to SCP dot join, means here colon, you want to join it along with the content of your tuple. So SCP dot join and then TPL, that is your tuple. So whenever you are printing S1, you can see the output 1, colon 2, colon 3, colon 4, etc. In this way, if you want to join or represent the data, you can represent it. These are the list of the methods which you can refer it, which are used for the various purpose. Like capitalize, it will convert the first character to the uppercase, fold, convert the string into the lower, then center, return the center string, count the number of times the specified value or the string occurs. Then encoded version of the string ends with returns if the string ends with a specified value. Expand tab size, set the tab size of the string. Then find, we have seen for searching the string. Then format specified values, format the specified values in the string. Similarly, you can use the format map, index, is alnum, then is alpha, is decimal, is digit, is identifier, is lower, is numeric, is printable, space, title, is upper, join, just, lower, L strip, partition, replace, r find, r index, r partition, r split, strip, then split lines, then start with swap case, title, translate, upper, z, fill, etc. These are the various methods which are used along with the string. It is also given inside the write-ups as well, in which the table is to be prepared. The examples are also given. Similarly, the description is also available. Here, all string method returns a new value. They do not change the original value. At the same time, here I have also given the link where you can click it and you can see the example of each and every methods. One simple small example of 2-3 lines is given related to all the methods. You can go to it and you can refer to the particular method. Next is strings are immutable. What is the meaning of it? Suppose there are two things. One is your mutable and second is immutable. So you can see it here. The statement is given as strings are immutable. Suppose one string is to be defined, S1 is equal to core Python. If you are writing S1 of 0, so what it will print? It will print the data which is to be present at the 0th position, which is nothing but C. And whenever you are writing S1 of 0 is equal to Z. So what you want to do it here, you want to make the changes in the string, the data present at the 0th position, where you want to make the changes. Yeah, Samir has answered that we cannot change the string. Yes, you are right. So that is to be called as the immutable. If you are unable to change it, means it is not giving you the permission to change. So that's why the strings are immutable. You cannot make the changes inside your original string. As you can see the statement, S1 of 0 is equal to Z, means we want to change the data which is to be present at 0th position. Now we want to initialize it with at the Z. So it gives the error message. You can see it here. You can see the trace back, then file type line 1 module S1 is equal to Z, name error, name Z not defined, right? Means we cannot define it. Now suppose it says that name inside the single quote not defined. So let us see S1 of 0 is equal to single quote, right? If you're writing in this way, because this is the string. So S1 of 0 equal to Z inside the single quote. Once again, it will give the error message that str object does not support item assignment. So that's why it will be called as the immutable. We can't change the string. So here we have understood in this lecture what is the meaning of the string, how the string is to be defined, how we can accept the input from the user using the string method, and then what are the various indexing ways of using the string, how the string is to be printed in the same order, how the string is to be printed in the reverse order. The string indexing, it can be positive as well as negative. In the positive, it will go from 0 to n minus 1. In the negative, it will go from -1 to -n. And then we can also apply the indexing as well as slicing onto the string. There are various and many more methods are available related to the string. You can apply it like you can find out the length of the string, like you can concatenate the string, you can print the string in the reverse order, you can print the string in the same order, you can print the string entire string into number of time, or the part of the string into the number of time. You can clear all the spaces which is to be available inside the string, either on the left hand side or right hand side. You can find the particular substring is to be available in the string or not. You can join the string, you can replace the string. There are many more methods are available related to the string. Only you have to go through all these methods and try to remember it, what is the functionality of each and every method, and whenever it is required you can apply it easily into the any specific part. Then we have seen the last part, that what is the meaning of the strings, and finally we got the conclusion that the strings are immutable, that we cannot make the changes inside the string. Once the string made, it will be remain same as it is. If you want to make the changes, it is not allowed. So that's why it will be termed as the strings are immutable. So we have completely understood the strings in the Python. So there is one key is for you. Here we have covered the lab outcome of one also. Here we have the one key concept related to you. So keep educating yourself. So what you have studied, try to use it. So it will basically educate yourself. So once you have done it, I'm always saying it whenever it is going on anything in the lectures, the examples or whatever I'm taking it. So always instead of just remembering it, execute it. uh, all the PPTs and everything will be uploaded on the Moodle. You just go through it and try to execute separate statement on your ideally shell. So you comes to know that more clearly, and it will be easier for you to remember as well that what is the method and what is the output in this we will get it. So as more as practice you will do to it, so you will become more perfect related to it. So always I'm saying whatever you I'm covering inside the theory part or inside the lectures, try to execute each and every syntax in the shell. So within 1 minute, once the session will over, everyone rejoin it so we can continue with the other topic. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of this string?
Means collection of characters is called a string, sir.